At the end of part 2, we got up to looking at the sample project in a very speedy fashion with Movie Studio 15. In this part here, what I'm going to do is just look at how I created in this one here a PowerDirector mobile Android converting travel photos into a video with pan, zoom, music. What I'm going to do is replicate that directly in Movie Studio 15 as a sample little project. So we start off with a timeline which is completely blank. So if you are pretty much new to video editing like this, you might think it's a nightmare task, and it is. So therefore, when I say it is, I mean if you've never done it before, you do it once, then you realise that it's an easier task because you've just gone through a bit of a learning curve. So for example, what we need to do here is I've already loaded up the project media. In other words, I've just dragged these files into a little directory, and I've got a dozen Caribbean photos and one piece of music. Now what I will find immediately is I want to build this into a 30-second, 60-second little video with some pictures. So if I just click on them, immediately those pictures come available in the preview window on the right hand side. Very, very easy thing to do. So what I'm going to get to next is I'm going to, what should we do here? Let's do a manual one to show you how this program works. So first thing I'm going to do is going to say video, where I've got highlighted on this particular track. All I'm actually going to do is I'm going to drag one at a time. Just trying to think, I want to start with that one. So I like the people with the musical instruments walking along the beach. Then after that, I'm not really bothered where I go. So I could, let's just see if I can do this in a simple way. I'm going to use the keyboard here quite a lot, shift and just select. Let's get those 4 and let's drag them and put them on the timeline, and that's it. And then I'm going to, and this is, I'm not going to do the whole thing, I'm just going to do a little bit of it. So what I'm going to do next is just get the music track that I've got from the free YouTube audio library, and I'm going to pop that and drag it and drop it onto the audio. So what happens now, and I'm using the wheel mouse quite a lot here, or the up and down arrows on my QWERTY keyboard, and then I can start to play the sample file. Now what I've got at the moment is set up on a default of 5 seconds. Notice the timer there, 5 seconds, and then it plays a little bit like, let me just close something over here, desktop audio open, and go back to the beginning and play. It will carry on like that, not doing much at all. So when I say not doing much at all, if I wanted to, and this is part of video editing frame by frame, if I dial all the way in here, I can start to get to frame by frame. So if I wanted to start off, I'm just going to come out a little bit and over my shoulder look to say click the thing that's the event pan and crop, there is my image. Now what I could do here is a couple of things. I'm going to do a tiny piece of keyframe animation. I'm going to go right to the beginning there. I'm going to say, okay, let's get rid of the black borders. So I'm going to hit the down arrow and I'm going to say, let's make that 16 by 9, which is the widescreen normal format. Then after that, I'm going to click, and I'm fast tracking a lot here, is I've got these things at the side here which makes me know, if you like, let me make it a bit bigger, that when I start to drag around, there is my image, what's actually on screen, and I'm going to go right the way in, and then I'm going to move it over a little bit like that. And that's the start of my keyframe animation. Then at the end of the clip, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to add a keyframe, create the frame. I want to restore that, click, restore, just exactly like that. Close it. And then what happens is that you've just created, oh, excuse me, go back to the beginning, there it is, and then play the clip just for a few seconds. Let me just go in, there's the clip for 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1, play. And it jumps to the next one. So after that I want to move in, and I'm going to create a 1 second transition. And notice that they are just snapping in to a second. There are other ways to do this, but this is the way I'm doing it very, very quickly then. we can start off and we say, okay, I'm just going to play a couple of seconds of that. Background. We go into the second slide, transition through to the third slide, and move it on. That's how I'm creating my keyframe animation, just frame by frame with a piece of music. I think I can actually stop there. Now, in Vegas here, what we could do is I could do insert a slideshow and then do a slideshow with adding pictures and pans and zooms all at the same time. I could do it that way, but for the purpose of this tiny little introduction, being completely free, and when I say autonomous, I mean learning, as if you were literally walking down a street or driving a car. It's very automatic. You don't have to think about it, but you've got to get that learning curve to a level where you're happy if you wish to pursue the art and the science almost, because a lot of like fiddly little frame by frames in desktop video editing.